You know, there's times when you're locked in the house and you can't go out and you got to find things to do. I grew up, that was my whole life in Canada. I grew up in the middle of the country, in the middle of nowhere, miles from the nearest person. We were snowed in the winter, which I thought was great. So I had to learn to have lots of hobbies, to build things and keep myself company. And I still do it today, which is great. So this is one of the things that I built. I wasn't even a kid anymore when I built this. I was like in my 20s. I built this in 1986. Wow. So this thing is what, 34 years old, and it still works, and I still have it, and it's still intact. It's a silly little thing. It's a mouse game. And I was into electronics and art. I guess I was inspired a little bit by Disney because they would take technology and animate art with their movies and with their theme parks. And I just love that. And I like the Muppets. I remember Rizzo the Rat? I loved him. So this is like a bunch of Rizzo the Rats. And so I created all these little rats, but I animated them. They actually move. If you push each button here, you turn it on with this, and each button animates a different mouse. It does something different. And I hand soldered the electronic circuits. I love electronic circuits. I just love soldering resistors and capacitors and transistors and making little circuits and making them do things. So I exposed the circuits. And it's kind of funny because I would like glue little bottles of fake ketchup on there, and it's just silly things like that's not a resistor or transistor. That's a bottle of ketchup stuck on the integrated circuit. But anyway, so each one of these, and most of this is solenoid powered. A solenoid is an electronic device where if you add power to it, it pushes a little rod in and out, which animates and makes things move. So I just created different clever ways to use solenoids. And there's a transformer here that supplies power to all the little things. And so each button does something different. Like the first one here, there's a little mouse watching TV, and he's watching a science fiction movie of a little alien with his flying saucer. He's got a little, he's in his little armchair there. He's got his little soft drink, and there's a little book lying next to him called How to Be a Star. So he's watching movies and he's learning to be a star. The second one is it's a countdown timer. It counts down 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. And then it makes a silly little sound. I mean, that's nothing more than just, hey, look, I can solder together a countdown timer. I just put it in there. Third one, this mouse is just sitting there and he's pulling on this lever. And when he pulls it, these curtains open, revealing an image that he likes. The image is actually a painting I did called Body of Water. It's in my art book. It's funny how everything in my life just kind of meshes together somehow. Okay, the fourth one, it's a little robot mouse. If you push this button, you'll notice this light goes on over here, and that indicates that if you turn this knob, you can change the sound that the little robot makes. Kind of cute. He's standing there and he's looking at he's got a book in front of him, Amy Vanderbilt's New Complete Guide of Etiquette. So the robot's learning etiquette, how to be human. It's little things like that that I just kind of hide in here. All right, the fifth one, it's a mouse swinging. And I like to expose the technology. I like to expose, you can actually see the solenoid here, pulling on the lever, which goes up here. I know people are gonna say Rube Goldberg type stuff, I guess, but, and I just do random things, like there's a bubblegum machine stuck to this gadget that moves the mouse for no reason other than the fact that it's cute and it's silly and it's just, it doesn't have to make sense, it's just a fun thing. All right, the fifth one is a mouse sitting there, is fishing. He's fishing. And there's a little wire going down, a fishing line going down into the water. There's the sixth one here. This one is a mouse that, it's like a teeter-totter. This mouse is counterweighting this mouse, so when this one goes down, that one goes up, and he jumps up and goes, hey, buddy, hey, everybody. And I'm using a capacitor as a counterweight, just because, again, I've got it, and it's just, it doesn't have to make sense, it's just whatever. All right, this one, this mouse, he's standing way up high, and he's got the World Atlas next to him here. So he's been studying the world and everywhere to go, and he's got his wings and he's ready to fly to all these places around the world. He's got his little World Atlas ready to go, and he's ready to, I'm kind of amazed it still works. After 34 years, this thing still works. Okay, this mouse, he gets stuck a little bit. He's just lying there on his little pillow, and there's a box. He's lying on a dock there, and he's just lying resting, and the box opens up when you push the button, and a piece of cheese comes out, and watch what happens. The mouse goes from lying down sleeping to, hey, cheese. The next one is, it's another countdown. See, the light goes on here, and when that light goes on, that means you can turn this knob. And what that is, it's just a timer, and what happens is it counts, and it changes the speed of the timer. And that's the only reason I did that is to show that, look, I can do electronic circuits, and I can make things count up and down and whatever, make lights go on. I mean, again, it doesn't have to make sense. It just has to be cool, whatever. And the last button, this is the funniest one. It's a mouse. See, there's a pillar with a piece of cheese on top, and he's trying to push the pillar. Come on, he's trying to get the cheese to fall off the pillar. He's desperately trying to get that cheese. Hey, come on, come on. So there's all kinds of like hidden stuff in nooks and crannies and the corners, underneath of things, stuck onto things. There's tons of little hidden things all over this thing. I guess they're pack rats, that's it. Yeah, they're pack rats. They hide things. You could be looking at this thing for hours and still find little hidden things throughout this. This is 34 years old and it still works, wow. Anyway, so I've got all kinds of silly things that I have in my house left over from my, I don't have that many, but I've always been like this. I like silly, random, cute things. I'm a kid still. I mean, I like to tinker. I like to mix art and technology and keep myself busy. I don't need the rest of the world. If the rest of the world ceased to exist, I'd be fine. I'd just be hiding in my little cave, making little fun things and keep myself busy. And I think that's kind of important, that people don't need other people for their completeness to feel, I mean, it's nice to have friends and stuff, but it's also nice to be able to keep yourself busy and enjoy life on your own if you have to. And I'm glad in a way that I was an only child, and that, I mean, the nearest friend was 2 miles down the road in the country. Didn't see them very often, so I had to learn to keep myself busy. And because I did, I learned a lot of things. I learned a lot of things that I could create, and which helped me later on in my work in Hollywood. So anyway, I'm rambling now, but this is just another little fun thing in the life of Marcus that I thought I'd share with you guys. And maybe you guys can pick up a hobby too, you know, and keep yourself busy when you have nothing else to do. And it's kind of fun. Makes you feel like you accomplished something at the end of the day. And it entertains people. So anyway, stay healthy and enjoy life. See you in the next video.